It's August 29th, 2024, and this is another episode of X Talks, the daily show, Monday through Friday, where we cover trending topics on X. We break it down, we talk about it, I give you my 2 cents, and then we argue about it in the comments. Just kidding, but if you want to, go ahead. So today we're going to be talking about a team that's local to me, very interesting. There's always drama around them, but before we dive into it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, like I said. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. And we're going to get talking about the Dallas Cowboys today, America's team, right? It hurts me to say it. I'm in the great state of Texas. I'm in Dallas. So this is a team where I live. Now, if you watch the show, I'm originally from Buffalo. So this was our rival. I don't know if you could really call it a rivalry because they beat us in 2 Super Bowls back-to-back. Neither here nor there. That was like 150 years ago, and all the Cowboys fans here still won't shut up about it. Quit living in the past, you losers. Just kidding. But let's dive into why I'm going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. They've had one hell of a week. It's been a pretty crazy ride. So first, let's talk about what Jerry Jones said earlier in the week. He said, I'm going to pull it up here. Where is it? There it is. When asked about replacing the GM with himself, he is the current GM and owner, only one that does that. He said, hell no, there's nobody that could effing come in here and be a better GM. That's a direct quote from him. Also, the reason I don't let somebody else be the GM is because I don't have anybody that I will let do it actually do it right. So a lot of people would argue with that, myself being included. I think he's more focused on the entertainment and money-making side of the business rather than the X's and O's and actually trying to win. That's to be debated, but hey, that's just my opinion. Now, the reason this was a hot-button topic is because at the time that he said this, his star receiver, CeeDee Lamb, was in a contract holdout. He was not at training camp at all, not getting those reps in, and their star quarterback, Dak Prescott, this is a contract year for him, and they can't slap the franchise tag on him, which means that after this season ends without a deal in place, he becomes a free agent. So after he negotiated, quote-unquote, with CeeDee Lamb, he made public responses to CeeDee Lamb's situation. To me, why hold out on giving him the money? Because look at this tweet from Adam Schefter, the highest paid receivers in the NFL on a per year basis. This is after he signed the deal with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is the second highest paid wide receiver in the NFL on a per year basis. Why create the drama? Why create the holdout? You knew you were going to pay the guy. He's your best receiver. He's one of the best receivers in the league. And your star quarterback needs him. He should have been there all training camp. I know that he's an elite quarterback. I know that he's an incredible athlete that will have a great year. But you can't underestimate the value of getting reps in and developing chemistry at training camp, especially on a year-to-year basis. The playbook evolves. Things change. You have new personnel. He should have been there. And to me, that's on Jerry Jones for not getting the deal done on time. So that's one strike against him this week. Now, here we go with number 2. Jerry Jones, when asked about Dak Prescott, this is from Bleacher Report here. He says, you could easily say, if you haven't seen it by now, you haven't seen it. And that was on what else he needs to see to give Dak a contract extension. Dak's rebuttal to that was, I stopped, honestly, listening to things Jerry Jones says to the media a long time ago. It doesn't really hold weight with me. Obviously, there's tension there. And if I were to read the tea leaves, just my opinion, I think Dak's out of here. So the Cowboys are going to have yet another underperforming year, in my opinion. If you have a quarterback that hates the GM and hates the situation that he's in without the confidence of the organization behind you moving forward, you're not going to play to the best of your ability. You're just not going to. So it's been a really interesting week here in Dallas. Now, I did want to play this for you as well. Let's pull it up here. This was on Get Up, the show on ESPN. I think that, who is this? Harry Douglas. I'm sorry, Harry. I think that he had a pretty good take.
Delusional.
Let's give it a listen here.
Yeah, and Jerry's delusional, and every time he talks, I make sure I have Excedrin or goody powder around me because I get a damn headache because I don't understand half of what he's even talking about most of the time. But I would say this. What we've seen, and I'm going to use Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns as an example. You're going to have a team out there that's desperate. Desperate for what? A quarterback that's needed in the National Football League. So when I look at the Giants, when I look at the Raiders, when I look at potentially the New Orleans Saints, all it takes is one team to give Dak Prescott everything that he's asking for him to be gone. So Jerry can play that game if he want to, but he better go back to that preseason game where Trey Lance threw 5 interceptions and realize that he has a franchise quarterback, and after this season, give the man what he wants. Yeah, and Jerry's delusional.
So I think he makes a great point there that I wanted to dive into because I think he's absolutely right. When you look at the quarterback position, at least in my opinion, I think it's one of the hardest things to do that's asked of an athlete to do in all of sports. You not only do you have to be physically gifted, but your decision making has to be on such an elite level that's so fast, it's almost unattainable. And then you layer on top of that, understanding the playbook. I don't know if you've ever seen what an NFL playbook looks like. One call could be 20 words long. Not only does the quarterback have to take that in from the coach who's calling the play, but then repeat it to the team in a timely manner while the play clock's ticking down. But you also have to know, which is what's unique to a quarterback, what every position is doing on every play. So when you're in the huddle and you call that play and your left guard looks at you and with those eyes and just says, what do I do here? You have to know immediately, you're shade blocking to the left or whatever you're doing. So I think here's a thought exercise for you. Think of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and rank them, okay? Now give me the best quarterbacks in the league. You're going to go Mahomes, you're going to go Joe Burrow, you're going to go Josh Allen. Let's go, Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers maybe. He's in the twilight of his career. Jalen Hurts, maybe. My point is, you get Herbert, maybe. C.J. Stroud, he's a rookie, so, he was incredible, but, he's got 1 year under his belt. My point is, once you get past the top 4 or 5, you can start to argue, are these guys good enough to be in the top tier? You start to – there's a pretty big fall off, I guess, is my point. Now, Dak Prescott, I'm not going to consider him one of the elite quarterbacks in the league, although statistically, if you look at his numbers, he has great years. Now, he folds like a lawn chair in the playoffs, i.e. last year against Green Bay at home, a team that snuck into the playoffs. You were undefeated at home last year, Dallas Cowboys. Shouldn't have happened. Neither here nor there. The idea of giving up on a quarterback that has phenomenal numbers and has gotten you to the playoffs and had, successful years, the idea of getting rid of that guy to venture into the unknown with no other plan in place, I think is suicide. I think that's crazy. Trust me, I am from Buffalo. You can live in quarterback purgatory forever. What happens is you can pick up a quarterback in the secondary market, in the free agency market, but guess what? You win 7 or 8 games that next year, you're not going to make the playoffs. You're not going to get a high draft pick. You're not getting the best quarterbacks that come out. And all of a sudden, you find yourself in no man's land. You find yourself with the quarterback carousel. I'm looking at you, Cleveland. Plenty of teams have gone through this. So I don't like this idea that Jerry Jones is just almost dismissively talking about Dak like he doesn't deserve at least the conversation or contract negotiations. It's almost like they're wanting to push him out the door. Trey Lance is, he's a great athlete, but let's be real. He threw 5 interceptions last week. 5 in a preseason game. Is he ready to step up and take the reins of the Dallas Cowboys? I don't think so. So don't be too quick to just get rid of the quarterback that you have and dive all in into the unknown, because that unknown can be really, really ugly for a very long time. And living here in Dallas, I'll tell you firsthand, I work literally across the street from Cowboys Stadium. So I know, I've been to Cowboys games. I've lived in Frisco, which is where their practice facility is. When I say practice facility, I mean that Jerry Jones literally built a city for their practice facility. It is unbelievable. I'll tell you, it is a 14,000 seat indoor practice facility with an outdoor field. The complex where they practice is just elite of the elite of the elite. And he literally built shopping centers and bars and restaurants. There's an esports complex. There's a hotel. There's everything there, literally just for the Cowboys. So the reason I bring all that up is because I think that in a city like Dallas, and with the esteem that he's built for the city and the town, for the team, winning really isn't essential to the success of the team. Now, whether he'll come out and say that, or if he internalizes it and just acts like that, either way, that's just the fundamental objective truth to the situation. I always compare it, to Buffalo. I juxtapose the two, because in Buffalo, if they're not winning, people aren't going to go. Do you want to go sit in the cold in December when it's 5 degrees and there's 3 feet and you're watching, J.P. Lossman in a 3-win team in December? I don't think so. So he knows that people are going to come. Season tickets, they have options for over $1 million for season tickets. So it's not the fans of Dallas that are at these games. It's all corporate entities that are just buying the brand and want to be a part of the whole, number one Forbes valued team in the world adventure. You know what I mean? So I think having Jerry Jones as the owner, blending with the GM responsibilities, his attention's divided. He has other intentions. He just hires head coaches that are yes men. Their head coach now, Sherman, Shanahan, what's his name? You know what I'm talking about. He's just a yes man. He hires these old school retread coaches. I don't understand why they don't hire young, forward-thinking coaches like McVay in L.A., coaches like that, for instance. They had, I'm off the top of my head, I forgot his name, the quarterback from Boise State that upset Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, that crazy game. They had him as their offensive coordinator. Why wouldn't you just promote him to head coach? You could disagree with me. I understand. It's kind of not controversial, but, it's kind of a progressive style of thinking that way. But I think the trend is to go for younger coaches who are forward-thinking and can adapt as the game's adapting. So that's my take. I don't want this to go too long. It already has. But that's the Dallas Cowboys this week in a nutshell. It's been absolutely bonkers. There's a lot to talk about, and it's only going to get crazier from here. America's team, it only makes sense because they do bring a lot of drama, and there's a lot of drama in the United States of America. So I guess it fits. But we all know the real America's team wears red, white, and blue, and they're the only team that plays in New York State. Those Buffalo Bills. Let's go. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel here. I want to hear your comments, your thoughts. Let me know what you think about the Dallas Cowboys situation. Should Dak be signed to a contract extension? Should they let him walk? Should they trade him? Should they try to get something? That'd be crazy. So I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know. And until tomorrow, this was Goldie here in Dallas, Texas. And I will see you tomorrow for another episode of X Talks.